Alright guys, hey, this is Full Blade talking, welcome, and we are going to be discussing a loadout for the Uzi, which is an incredibly underrated weapon in Warzone. I'm not going to lie to you, it is not OP, but if you're looking to change up your loadout some and use something new and very useful and very adaptable, the Uzi is an excellent option for this. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Uzi. So you're going to want to run the monolithic suppressor. And that's going to give you sound suppression and damage range, both of which are very important. I've discussed this before. Damage range is just going to give you a few extra feet of where you have your maximum damage. And sound suppression is going to be very useful because people won't know where you are. I would just like to clarify real quick, most of my kills come from people who reveal their location from shooting a weapon without a suppressor or from not running Ghost. Moving on, go to the factory carbine. You're going to want the 16.5 factory carbine, not the FSS carbine Pro. I don't have that one unlocked, but I wouldn't use it anyway. It reduces your mobility, and on an SMG, mobility is key, and you don't want to sacrifice too much of that. You do want the recoil control on this barrel, and you also like that bullet. You also want that bullet velocity and damage range. The bullet velocity really isn't that important because you're mostly going to be in close quarters combat, but it's, you know, nice. It's mostly for that recoil control. You're going to want the 5mm laser. That increases your hipfire accuracy. The hipfire accuracy is already really good on this weapon, so this makes it super tight. With this and the Merc foregrip, which is another attachment you're going to put on this loadout, the hipfire accuracy on this weapon is so insane, you barely need to aim down the sights ever. So it's just awesome. Go ahead and put the 41 AE 32 round mag on there, and there's going to be people who probably disagree with me here, but to me the normal bullets feel like you're shooting styrofoam at people. It just doesn't seem to do anything, so I go ahead and put that on there. The disadvantage to that is that you only get 32 rounds, but you just need to run an LMG or a high rounds mag assault rifle with this. You don't need to run a sniper or anything like that. You need to run a low recoil assault rifle or an LMG to give you that long range support, that medium range support, because this weapon is going to be pretty much for close range to closer medium range encounters. It's not going to function that well at ranges over that. This weapon is mostly going to be great for mobility purposes. Mobility and hipfire. That's where this weapon excels. Then you're going to want to put Merc foregrip on there. That gives you a little bit more recoil control, and it gives you some added hipfire accuracy, and that's just awesome on this weapon. Now, I'd like to say this is malleable a little bit. You don't have to use the 41 AE round conversion. If you don't like that, you can change that. You don't really need the factory carbine. If you want to change that to an optic or a different barrel, you can. This is a close range weapon, so you don't necessarily need that carbine, that factory carbine barrel. You can change that, and there is a couple things you can do to this weapon that can make it a little different, a little better for you. But this is a great loadout, and I'd like to tell you a couple things about the Uzi real quick, since not a lot of people actually know much about the Uzi. The Uzi is one of the highest mobility weapons in the game. It gives you huge amounts of speed, huge amounts of movement, and it has insane hipfire accuracy. I'm telling you, at ranges under 15 meters, and even at ranges under 20 meters, this weapon you don't even need to aim down the sights. It's pretty much just blast away at people with the hipfire. You're not going to need to do anything else. Another great thing about this weapon is the fact that since you're so fast, a lot of times you can melee people instead of actually having to shoot them. So this weapon is just really good for close range encounters. It is not necessarily as good as the MP5 or the MP7, but a lot of people get sick of running the same old thing. Now, I'm actually going to give you a bonus loadout. This loadout is a little bit different, and it pairs with a different secondary. So what you do is you change that mono suppressor to a close quarters combat breacher device. You change that to the factory mini. This can stay the same. Take that off and take that off, and you're going to want to put on no stock, and you're going to want to put on fast melee, and you're going to want to put on well, I actually suppose you could put that Merc foregrip back on. Actually, nope, leave it there. Leave it just like that. Now, you might be thinking that weapon is going to suck when it comes to recoil. It's true. This weapon isn't for shooting. this is a melee weapon. And let me tell you a little bit about this melee weapon. It has the range of the knife, the speed of the collie sticks, and the damage of the Kodachis. Not exactly, but it's a 2-shot kill in Warzone always. Whereas with the collie sticks, it's 3. So the only disadvantage to this weapon is it doesn't quite have the range of the collie sticks, but you actually move faster than the collie sticks, which is incredible. I mean, the collie sticks are one of the fastest moving weapons in the game. This actually moves faster than the collie sticks. So I highly recommend this if you're a melee person. And you're going to want to run this with, if you're running that one, run it with Riot Shield. If you're running the previous loadout that I just did, you're going to want to use that with an LMG or an assault rifle. For your perks, if you're running the previous loadout, not this one, just run this right here. Oh, not double time. EOD, and you're going to want to run Ghost, not Overkill. I'm just showing you Overkill. That way I can show you both weapons at once. You're going to want to pick up 2 loadouts to get this stuff. And run Amped. That way you can switch your weapons faster. You could run Shrapnel. You could run Amped. It doesn't really matter. It's just your preference. And Semtex and Flash Grenade. Now, if you are running the other loadout, this one, if you're running this loadout for the melee Uzi, you're going to want to switch. You're going to stay on EOD. You're going to want to switch this to Restock, not Ghost, and you're going to want to switch this to Shrapnel. And you're going to want to take your weapons, and you can switch this to Throwing Knife, or you can leave it. It doesn't really matter. You could also do Thermite. But I recommend either Semtex, Throwing Knife, or Thermite. And turn your tactical into a stun. For the previous loadout, you could use Heartbeat Sensor. And pick up your second loadout and grab a Riot Shield. So I can just show you that real quick. Use Riot Shield to go with it. And this is better than the Collie Sticks. It's better than the knife, and it's better than the Kodachis, in my opinion. Because you not only have a melee weapon, you also have a still semi-functioning gun. So you can take people out at some level of a distance instead of only being able to melee them. So this is my general loadout for this weapon. If you want to use the previous loadout, the one that actually uses it as a gun, go for that. It's a great, versatile weapon. If you want to use it as a melee weapon, which I highly, highly recommend running instead of a knife, especially, you could run the Kodachis or the Collie Sticks instead of this. They both have a little bit of range on this, but this is faster than both. Just go ahead and run either one of those loadouts that I just showed you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. Give me any ideas on loadouts that you'd like. Just anything you want to see, go ahead and tell me. Just thank you for showing the support. Give me some love. Remember to have fun, play nice, load up, frag out.